So this is the morning after the wild camp. So how did it go? Well, okay, good, and perhaps not so good on my part. So first off, the Frister food, that was really good. I didn't need to take any extra water for it, just heated it up, and it was good to go. So that was a definite big plus. The Easy Camp rucksack, again, I had a bit of a hike to get to where I was staying, and this worked perfectly. It took loads of stuff for the camp, plus camera gear. I set it up well. It was putting weight down through my hips, so it was off my shoulders, and worked really well. It took a fair bit of bashing. There was lots of trees and stuff to get snagged on, plenty of brambles too. Despite being early spring, it seemed brambles were already growing quite high. No snags, no tears. It's just took it. It still looks fairly clean. Had a slight rain shower in the night as well, but everything inside the bag was still dry, so that was also another good. Now, the Snugpak hammock system. I was really impressed with this, although I didn't set it up completely right. First off, the hammock, which was their tropical hammock, that was so easy to set up. So that comes with some knots already fitted on the paracord, and means you just loop it around the tree and pull the thing through at the right thickness, and then it's got some carabiners on the hammock you just clip on. So it's all very quick to set up and quick release to tear down too. Now, the cocoon system, that didn't have everything it needed in the pack. It recommended you had some bungee cord or some stretchable cord to secure it to the hammock at the end. Again, I was able to make that work, so it wasn't a problem. The system worked really well. You know, I was a little bit skeptical to see, just how well will it work, but it worked really well actually. It did create the microclimate. If anything, it felt like you were zipping yourself into a body bag that was swinging about a bit. If suffering claustrophobia, well, maybe it's not for you, but you don't see anything. It also acts as a complete blackout to go to sleep in. Of course, you were breathing in there, so I was worried about condensation, but it's sort of a vent at the top and a vent at the bottom, or should we say either end of the hammock. So I didn't seem to suffer really from condensation. I did open it a few times, have a look round, have a fresh of breath air, and outside it was freezing. It was literally freezing. When I got back to the car, there was a hard frost that had to be scraped off the windscreen, so it did protect rather well. Now, one thing that Snugpak haven't put on here is what season it is. Like sleeping bags, they haven't rated what season this is. We had previously reviewed their 4-season sleeping bag, and the feel on this felt very similar. So despite them not saying, I thought, well, let's take a risk. I have plenty of thermal layers and everything else. It did get a little cold and chilly around 3 a.m. in the morning. It really got cold. Now, I hadn't set the hammock up properly. As you see from the picture, one end's slightly higher than the other, and really you want them the same height. I had adjusted it since that picture and reduced it more, but not enough. So what I found is that I was sliding down the hammock, and perhaps wasn't making the most of the feel. I noticed, because it was on a slope as well. There's no way you could have pitched a tent there, but because it was on a slope, I was actually grounding out at some point, which may have affected the insulation. So it kept me quite warm, but not quite warm enough when it got below freezing. So it's probably feels like a 3-season type of setting, well, 3.5 maybe. So, you know, if you are going camping with a hammock and this cocoon system, you might want to take some extra insulation, or maybe just I wasn't used to it. However, a lot easier to get yourself insulated with one of these than trying to fit a sleeping mat and a sleeping bag inside a hammock and then getting inside it all. So from that point of view, it was very good. I didn't set up a tarp. The forecast was a clear night. However, it did have a little shower in the middle of the night. This is not fully waterproof. It's, you know, water-resistant, but again, the waterproof properties it's got. We had no leaks, no water coming in. The water just trickled off and it just dried out. So absolutely no problem at all. So I think it's a stunning bit of kit. perhaps not for freezing temperatures. So I did break camp around, well, I had to get up around 3 in the morning as it was too cold to get back in, and I was frozen then. So I thought, well, it's going to be light soon, so I'll break camp and head off. So unfortunately I never got to test the coffee, which I was really looking forward to doing, so I will be testing that separately and giving that a go. So out of all the items, thumbs up. This is certainly something we'll be doing again, and I know the kids are dying to come hammock camping. There's a number of places, a number of campsites that do permit hammock camping as well, so I'm sure that's something we'll be doing more of very soon.